Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. It is January the 1st, 2020. So, here's to a new year, a better year, and hopefully if everybody stays home and stays safe, we can get rid of this crazy virus of ours and hopefully by summer be back to normal where we can have barbecues and hook up with our family and stuff. I really miss that part of things right now. We have two babies coming. We have one coming in March. Glenn's youngest is having hers in March, and my oldest is having hers in May, and that's her little second one. So we're excited about both these little new peeps coming into our lives. So hopefully, if this virus takes a hike, we can get together and see our new babies. So here's to the new year. I hope that it goes quickly. Not the year, the virus. So I thought that today it would be kind of fun to kick off the year with a new calendar. Ooh, that's a little bit bright, but so that's a little calendar. Maybe I'll just switch to my desk for a second and we can I'll show you the different ones that we have. So I actually did a video yesterday, and well, it took me all day to do the video. And between my cat sitting on my keyboard and me not being able to connect to the internet from my Wi-Fi to connect my cameras, it was kind of a long day. I finally did get the video made in the afternoon, and yeah, I had no sound. The whole thing, I had no sound. So I thought, well, today I'll just do it again. So here I am. So we're going to do this little easel card calendar for the new year. And anyone that has placed an order with me in the last 6 months is going to receive one of these in the mail as a little token of thank you from me. I'm very grateful to all of you who have supported my little business over the past year and made it possible for me to continue to have my little business. I realize you haven't seen much of me in the last several months. COVID really affected our store. We've been extremely busy and with quilts and sewing machine repairs. And so unfortunately I had to put my stamping business a little bit on the side. And frankly, I just didn't have the energy to do both. So, but I'm back. I'm caught up in my quilting a little bit. And I'm really anxious to put a little bit more time into my card making because I've really missed it. So today we're going to be doing these. Now these little calendars, I actually just printed them out on paper from timeanddate.com. And then I used my brother's scan and cut to cut out all the little squares the same size. I treated myself to a scan and cut in December, and it's the best toy ever. I cut out all these little dinosaurs, or dinosaurs, they're not dinosaurs, they're donkeys, with my scan and cut because this particular stamp set doesn't have a die. So I pre-cut, I stamped and then scanned and cut a bunch of little donkeys for a set of cards that I'm going to be doing. And if you're interested in how I did that, if you do have a cutting machine and you're not familiar or comfortable with it, let me know and we can maybe do some classes on the brother scan and cut. But I really liked the scan and cut for the fact that I can just stamp a bunch of stamps and then just scan it through the machine and it automatically cuts them out for me. And I did these fruits as well yesterday when I was fooling around. I wasn't sure. Oh, I might just pop that on there. That looks kind of cute. So you can cut them with a little, with a little border, or right on the edge of the design like I did on these ones, because I forgot to do the border and then I thought, oh, well, that's all right too. The possibilities are endless, and if you're interested in where I got my machine, I bought this from a brother dealer up in Millbrook. Kawartha Quilt and Sewing is the name of the store, and the owners, Eric and Philippa, are just lovely. So yeah, let me know if you're interested and we can do a class on how I actually did this. So let's get started. This is a fun little project. Now this paper actually I got it free along with the stamp set that we're going to be using as well, called Berry Blessings. And this stamp set and paper combination, I'll show you the paper. With this combination of paper, oh my goodness. These are all the different papers. So this is the reverse side of this one. And that's the reverse of that one. And aren't they gorgeous? And then this one on the bottom. And then these are the coordinating colors. And whenever you get a package of our DSP, Designer Series paper, it does tell you, sorry about the glare, holy. It tells you all of the coordinating colors that go with every DSP so that you don't really even have to think. You just look on the back, figure out which color you want to go with, and it's right there. All right. So I decided that I had the other half of this blue one that I did yesterday for the video that isn't. I thought I'll just use the other half of the paper and do like an opposite colorway. So for this one, I'm going to use the Granny Apple Green as my base. And then my my contrasting color is going to be Pacific Point. And I really thought, I'm still debating whether to do it this way or this way. I kind of like the berries. I think maybe I think I'm going to do the blueberries because I like that. Okay. There, decision made. That was easy. So you're going to take a piece of your cardstock. Now this cardstock is, as I said, Granny Apple Green. So it's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 and 2 3/4. All right, so that's our base. So we can actually get these out of the way. And what did I do with my little calendar? Here's my little calendar. So my Scan and cut out all my little calendar pieces the same size. And then I just literally staple them, one staple in the middle. Now you could do 2. I actually could have done 2, but it's pretty small, so I really didn't bother. So what you need to do this is your base, and then your contrast is 4 by 5 1/4, 4 by 2 3/4, and then I have another piece of Granny Apple Green is 2 3/4 by 2 3/8, and that's for behind the calendar here. And then I have, for my DSP, I have one that is 3 3/4 by 5, and that's going to sit on top of this mat, which is going to go onto the front. And then this DSP is 3 3/4 by 2 1/2, and that's for the inside of the bottom. And then you also need a piece of Whisper White that is 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. So this is going to go on the inside for your sentiment. So let's put it together. It's so simple to put together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our DSP, our blueberries, right onto our first mat. Grab some glue. And I like, if you're a newbie, I like using the liquid glue because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. It doesn't dry immediately. Dry piece on there. Oh, whoops, here we go. So you don't want to be really generous with your glue. You don't need to be really generous. Usually a little squiggle will do you just fine. So I'm going to center that right onto here. You can see I can move it around until I'm satisfied that all of my margins are pretty equal. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some glue on the bottom portion down the middle of my card here. And again, I'm just going to center this so that my margins are pretty equal. Now you notice I didn't put glue at the top half because I want to be able to bend it up. See that? Otherwise I'm not going to have an easel, I'm just going to have a card. So I only put glue on the bottom half of this. Okay. And then on the front half, I'm going to take my little calendar. I'm just going to put some glue there. Now I could have put a piece of white Whisper White cardstock on the back, and you know, I could have cut out a bunch of little squares to do the Whisper White on the back, but I didn't. Maybe I will in the future. Maybe for the next bunch of ones that I do, I may do that actually. Okay, and then I'm just going to glue this right to the bottom center of my card. And you see, I don't use a ton of glue. One of the things you have to be careful of with liquid glue is that you don't use too much, because what happens is it can bubble your paper because it's liquid, and it can act like a liquid and make your paper bubble. So you really want to be frugal with the liquid glue. So there's that part of our card. And now I'm going to flip it open. See how easy this is when you have things pre-cut? When I make a bunch of these, like when I'm doing my swaps and things, this was actually my December swap for my group of ladies that I do swaps with. And so I thought, well, you know, it's my December swap. I'm all Christmased out, so let's do a calendar so that they have a new desk calendar for the new year. So that's what I did. So everybody in my swap got, in my team swap, not my other swap, in my team swap got a little calendar. Now for the center, I never glue anything till I've actually stamped it, because if you make a boo-boo, then you can just flip it over. So let me see, what will I put on there? What will I put on that one? Well, that's nice. I'm going to use the same stamp. I really like this. So I'm going to grab now when you're using the what do you call these, photopolymer stamps, you should use something with a little bit of give. And so we have these Stampin' Pierce mats. I don't need to use a Stampin' Pierce mat with this desktop cover because it's neoprene and it's got a little bit of give. But if you're using if you're just working on like a kitchen table or a hard desk, you do want to use something with a little bit of give with these, because they don't have that built-in sponge that the red rubber stamps have. You need to have something with a little bit of give, because what happens is you end up maybe with a bubble. It just doesn't stamp out nice. Okay, now if you've seen me stamp before, you know I always put my blocks on at an angle, and I'm actually going to move this because with everything else it's a little bit high. So what color will I do? I think I'm going to do it in Pacific Point. I was going to do it in the Granny Apple Green, but I'm going to do it in Pacific Point, which is a really cute blue. It's a really pretty, it's not a bright blue, but it's not dark either. So I'm just going to stamp it up, and I'm going to center that. Pardon my head if it's in there. So see, this way I can line up the bottom of my printing with the bottom of my card, and I know that it's going to be square. There, perfect. Okay, and then I think it needs a little something. So on my last one, this was kind of a last minute idea that I had, and I actually love it. So I'm going to do it on this one as well. I'm going to take this leaf outline print, and I'm going to, it's a little bit bigger, the block, than I wanted, but it'll be fine. And I'm going to grab a scrap of paper out of my recycle bin here. And I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to stamp it onto my card base. Oh, you know what? I did that backwards. Honestly. Let's give that a clean. Oh, good grief, I put it on the block backwards. Okay, let's flip that over. That didn't work very well, did it? There. Okay, let's try this again. Stamp it off, and I'm going to stamp it onto my card this way. Stamp it off, and I'm going to come down this way. There, that's so pretty. Just a little something to give it some dimension. Okay, let's put that away. Okay, and now I can glue this because I'm happy with it. Had this been crooked, I would have just flipped it over. So I'm just going to glue this onto my card, and I'm just going to center it. Again, just making sure that my margins are equal. And there's the card. That's basically it. Now we are going to put a little sentiment up here and bling it up a little bit. Isn't that cute? So simple. These will fly together. It's the preparation that takes a little bit of time. Just going to clean this one. End up with ink on anything. Just going to peel these off and put them away now that they're clean. I can use my blocks for something else. So as I said, this stamp set is actually free with the designer series paper during Celebration. Celebration starts on Tuesday, the 5th of January. And for this particular reward, basically, it's a free gift with a purchase of $120. And there are lots of free gifts with purchase of $60. So, you know, if $120 isn't in your budget, but $60 is, there's a whole little booklet. Now, I'm not allowed to show you the inside of the booklet until next week, but there's a whole little booklet full of free things that you can get with a $60 purchase. There's stamp sets, paper, well, stamp sets and paper. Beautiful, really, really cute. The donkeys, that's one of the free little stamp sets that you can get. But I'll show it to you. The Darling Donkeys, that's also free with a $60 purchase. So yeah. All right, so what will we put on the inside? I think we will put wishing you the very best. I actually have used this little sentiment quite a bit. I've only had it for a month now because I've had it for a month because I'm a demonstrator. So if you want to have an inside edge to getting some, you know, products before everybody else and getting a 20% discount, all you have to do is sign up with Stampin' Up. I'm always happy to have a new member on my team. I have a couple of people who are pending who are thinking about it. So if you do decide that you'd like to sign up and be part of my team, you know, there's a lot of benefits. Okay, so let's finish this. What will I cut it out with? What have I done in the actually, you know what? I love this. This little cutout rectangle is part of the Stitch So Sweetly dies from the annual catalog. And this is one die set that I use quite a bit. There's several sizes of rectangles. There's a couple of decorated ones. Beautiful. I think I used the bigger one. Yeah, I used the bigger one for that. And I'm going, oops. So here you can see some, that's this one here. These are ones that I had cut out. I was using for, I think some birthday cards from November or something that I did. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out of the Granny Apple Green, and I'm just going to grab my little mini cutter. How stinking cute is this? So this little mini cutter is available starting January the 5th, and it comes with everything you need to get going. I'll grab the other plates too. So it comes with, for cutting your dies, Now it is small, so some of your dies will obviously not fit, but anything smaller than 3.5 inches will fit in here. So here's your base plate and your 2 cutting plates if you want to cut dies. And then if you want to emboss, there's the thicker little shimmy board for regular embossing folders, and then a thinner one for the 3D embossing folders, which are a little bit thicker. So we're not going to emboss today, but we are going to cut. So I'm going to put my plate down and one of my cutting plates down. And I'm going to line up my, I was going to say fabric. We own a fabric shop, right? So I'm going to lay down my cardstock with my die and my top plate, and then I'm just going to run it through my little die cutter. I just love this thing, and it's so cute and tiny. Now, one of the beauties of this thing is that it's extremely portable. It folds right up. So if you were going, to the cottage and you wanted to do some, some little die cutters and things, then this would be a great little traveler. And I believe, just check, it's $82. And the large one, now I can show you this because it is in the main catalog as well. The larger one is $163, and the mini stamp cut emboss machine is $82. Cute, eh? All right, so I have this on here, and my little cutter, I'm just going to give this a trim. I'm just going to trim this out like that. Oops, that's crooked. That's crooked. Okay, and then we'll line that up. See how straight that is. Not bad. I think I can trim it a little bit more. Line it up with that one. Okay. And we'll just pop it on there. So grab the wrong bottle. Okay, and we're just going to pop that right on here, and I'm going to throw it onto some dimensionals because I like dimensionals. I'm never stingy with my dimensionals, because if you put this in the mail and you don't have enough dimensionals, it's going to sink. And they're inexpensive, so why not just throw them right on there. Okay, put this away so I don't lose it. My cats are notorious for coming in here and just throwing things on the floor, and then you never see them again. All right, so there you have it. Now, no card is complete without some bling. So I'm going to grab my embellishing. Now you can see I got a little carried away with my rather scan and cut. I put my logo on everything, including my little computer. Oh, I think I left my, oh no, here it is. My little quilting computer. I've put my logo on everything. It's like when I was embroidering like a mad woman. My husband used to tease me because I would just have embroidery on it, like everything. Oh, I think I'm going to use these clear epoxy droplets. I really like these. I took my Take a Pic tool, and I'm just going to pop them randomly. Around. There. How cute is that? And I'm also going to put one on each of these little corners here because I found that they just stand better if you have something to kind of stop the card from sliding. There. So now when you prop up your calendar, it's going to sit on these two little gems there. And this comes with frosted ones as well, which I could have used, but I really like the brighter ones. Okay, pop these away. So as I said, I may be incorporating some of my brother scan and cut techniques in with my card making, because I do use it a lot. As I say, if I have a stamp set that doesn't have a die, it's very easy to set this up and have it cut. And the whole thing took about, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. So here's our January calendar, almost said catalog, calendar. Goodbye 2020, hello 2021. And as I said earlier, I think I'm going to actually take one of these little strawberries and pop it onto here because it needs something. Pop one of these little berries on here. And some dimensionals. I probably could have gotten away with 2 dimensionals, but I do like my dimensionals. And there. Isn't that pretty? So as I said, these will be going out to my customers who have placed an order with me in the last 6 months as my way of saying thank you. And if you don't, if you haven't placed an order prior to November, my catalogs were mailed out to everyone who placed an order prior to November. If you're a new customer from December the 1st and onwards and didn't make it to the mailing list, I'd be more than happy to drop one off to you or pop one in the mail for you, the new catalogs. And if you need an annual catalog, I can pop that off as well. I'd really like to thank you for joining me today, and Happy New Year, and I look forward to seeing much more of you this year. Thanks so much.